So it is straight midnight right now on this Tuesday, the 21st. And I'm sitting in my little nook area, my little sitting desk area. And the creator of the universe has moved my spirit once again when the world is pretty much gone to sleep, that I am up with some things to say to all of you. So I want us to kind of transport into the future of what will take place possibly in New Jerusalem when we are transported or moved there. Understand that it is not going to be a chaotic move, but it will be orderly and organized. And although for the majority of the Hebrew Israelites, this grand move would come on the heels of a cataclysmic event, those that the creator of the universe has orchestrated to not only be a part of its inception, but also a part of the changeover in which his people are ushered in to the new nation state. And so if we can just kind of surmise of what takes place during a natural disaster, some of the pros and cons. The one thing I want to home in on is during the Katrina event, and how that was an unmitigated disaster for a lot of descendants of American slaves, people in New Orleans, and in where those levees had basically broken. Some conspiracy theorists say that they were, damaged on purpose, and so the water was able to overflow, and it was just a chaotic mess. That would not be the case here. So if I may just dream a little bit, just to give you some things to think about, is that there's probably going to be a sudden ramp up of events. And perhaps key figures may be meeting a secret that will be unbeknownst to possibly the powers that shouldn't be in the wider world of people that inhabit the United States of America. Quite possibly the second thing will be security and securing those that are who will be most important and most prominent in the kingdom administrative government that will then take over and begin to organize and begin to rule and govern these new nation states that will comprise of the nation of Jerusalem and Israel by families. And those families will probably fall into a number of tribes we have been given in the Holy Book of 12, and that may be the case, so we'll be sectioned off that way. And there'll be more than enough land to start with. During that time, there's going to be a great separation of peoples, and quite honestly, depending on the relationships between ourselves and the other people who are not Hebrew Israelites, there will probably be separating just for a little bit between them and between them, the non-Hebrew Israelites and the Hebrew Israelites. But there'll be quite possibly taken to another location that it will be still in reach, as according to the governmental policies that will be set in place by this new government that will again be the apex of New Jerusalem. And their job will be to begin implementing everything all human activity. And what are the ways that we interact with one another? Well, we had a brother that gave us that information of how human beings interact. His name was Neely Fuller Jr. So this dear brother gave us a kind of an outline about the able-bodied persons who will be in charge with our care and with our assembly as a nation. So just a reminder, the ways that human beings interact, he gave us certain ways that we interact in all the activity that will have to be addressed. Prior to us going into New Jerusalem, during the time that we are going into New Jerusalem, and after we begin to settle in New Jerusalem. And some of the key things that we'll keep in front of us is all the ways that we are, the way that we interact with one another through housing, and that is our economics, through our education, through the laws and the politics that we'll be having to establish among ourselves, the religion or really spirituality, and just basically that human element of love, brotherly love, relationship love, love for our nationality, love for our humaneness, and how we are going to process the basically the cataclysmic event that is due to take place on this planet. So just understand that one of the main things that will be first established is residency. Where are people going to go? Because we have millions of people that are going to be pouring in to a new area that they have probably never lived in, never traveled to, of course, and or they probably weren't expecting that they will be leaving abruptly, and do expect that. Also, we'll have persons that will be monitoring and distributing different resources such as water and food and shelter. Remember, there will be professionals on hand that will even address any health issues throughout the nation. We mustn't forget all the things that we have learned while we have sojourned in this country. And believe it or not, there's a lot more of us that are equipped to handle this sudden change. And with Yahweh's Spirit, we will not have to worry about chaos and unbridled panic throughout the nation. Those who have had military training of every kind will be instrumental with not only ensuring that the borders of Jerusalem are protected and well defended, but also to help with the organizational efforts that will be applied again to make sure that housing and food and water and sanitary needs are met for every man, woman, and child, and that families are connected as they go through the passage of traveling to New Jerusalem, as they reach New Jerusalem. And if they have gotten separated from their families, that they are quickly reunited with those loved ones and given a safe place to reside until other matters can be brought to bear and meted out or dispensed throughout the whole nation. And of course, we can surmise that we are going to have angels assisting us in putting the spirit of cooperation, love, relief, and a keen sense of freedom will pervade throughout the whole nation. This is going to give us new life and a spark to where we will be able to act in a way that we haven't been acting for these past 3, maybe 4 decades. There's going to be a profound sense of brotherly love throughout the whole nation. Although many of us will be tired, many of us are going to be awestruck, many of us may even be scared and unsure that what is happening is really from God. However, I really do believe that because of the angels being present, and they're probably going to look like the UFOs that are being talked about today, they'll be there to kind of shore up things and make sure and to assist that things go smoothly, and also to create a protective barrier so that any bad agents do not come in and try to mess with or damage or thwart any progress that we'll be making in those early hours to days and weeks as we get up and running in our new paradigm. We can imagine that there will probably be several operations in place, and that those that will be in control of commanding those operations will know exactly what to do to keep things moving and on task and for goals to be reached, to where again everyone is settled for the new day. We can possibly also expect that something spectacular is going to happen in our skies and in our solar system, an inauguration, if you will, of this new kingdom, of New Jerusalem, something that the Creator will herself do to let us know that we are indeed in the right space, at the right time, with the right people, and that it is not work of the devil or the demons. Ultimately, this is a rescue operation, and it will be treated as such. A rescue from a world that has held us hostage for hundreds of years. All of you will be treated with the utmost esteem and dignity, and you will be handled with the most lovingest care and compassion. Every man, woman, and child. We are not fated to live with demons and devils for the rest of eternity. We are not. So in spite of all the crazy stuff that is happening right now, do notice what is not being said and what is not being talked about on a wide scale. For instance, not only NASA is ignoring what's happening in the heavens, but do you realize that the President of these United States is also ignoring what is happening in the heavens and hasn't spoken anything about it? Do you also realize that even Congress seemingly is pretending like it doesn't even exist? Now, I have heard on the net that some people think that it's all orchestrated by these very people, but don't you think that they would actually talk about it? Don't you think that they will actually brush or fan the flames of it if they really were behind it all along? No, no, people, please understand that their silence is golden, is telling us everything we need to know. They are not in control of what is happening in the heavens right now. And how we know this is that anything that they don't control or understand, and if they can't say much about it to a surety, to know not only the beginning, the middle, and the end, they typically go quiet, just like our history. The true history has nothing but silence, and nobody that is an official of high ranking says anything about the true history that regular folk are bringing out to the fore. So, as with the history, so is the future, which is why you hear them talking about everything but Three Eye Atlas, Oumuamua, and everything else that is in our skies. I believe the closest they have gotten is to mention that there are UFOs, and then they move on. Why? Because they're not in control of those things. So I hope that this kind of in some way can give you some assurance and some peace of mind. Like everyone else, we have to wait and see because we have limited cardinal power to do anything upon this earth on our own, and we dare not anyway. We always want to go by the dictates and the spirit of the Most High God. So that way we can be assured that we'll be successful. So that's what I wanted to get out, apparently. And I hope that all of you have a good night. And I just long for the day when I can look across the great expanse and see nothing but the children of Israel finally getting their just due and justice being meted out across all of this planet. Thank you.